Hi everyone, welcome back to our final week of the Mozart Recitative Technique Tuesdays. Today we're going to wrap everything up and bring everything together by talking about character and context choices. I can't really emphasize how important this is. This is how you bring the story and the breath and the excitement and the drama to the recitative so that you're not just kind of doing, rapid fire Italian and trying to get your notes out. So this is the fun part, and this is how you bring your own personality to it. So we'll work on that same recitative, and then I might also jump to one of those accompagnato that we all know so well, like the beginning of Dove sono, or even the beginning of Come scoglio. So let's dive right into it. So here we are with our same recitative that we've been looking at for the past 4 weeks now. We're in the second act, and let's first of all talk about Fiordiligi. She's the older sister, she likes to be in control, she likes to feel like she knows what's going on, and she likes to feel like she has the upper hand, although she does like to be courted. And what's happening at this point in the story is that everything is falling apart. She's realized that she's kind of into this guy who has come into her life while her boyfriend, who she wants to be her fiance, is out of town. And her sister and her maid, or her friend, at least in this production that I'm doing, are really not helping. In fact, they're kind of trying to encourage her to be with this other guy. And so in this recitative, she's all by herself. We get to see her reflecting a little bit. And she first of all goes through a number of beats. So we've talked a little bit about who she is, what her personality is, and what the context of the scene is. Now let's look at the different lines in the recitative and see if there are different beats or shifts in emotion that we need to think about. So, come tutto congiura a sedurre il mio cor. She's sort of in this self-pity mode at this point, like how everything is just against me right now. Man, I'm in a bad place. Maybe Mercury's in retrograde or something like that. So that's kind of our first beat. So let me put a line right after that one. But then all of a sudden we see ma, but. Ma no, si mora e non si ceda. I am a stubborn human being, and I would rather die than give up, or give up my morals, or let somebody win. So that's our next beat. And then all of a sudden she has a reflection on the scene that just took place where her sister and Despina are saying like, girl, go for it, have fun. And she's regretting that decision. So she says, errai quando alla suora io mi scopersi ed alla Despina. I was wrong to do that. What was I thinking? I should have known they were not going to be on my side. So we've got 3 beats: self-pity, stubborn determination, and kind of scolding herself and regretting. So that's going to change the way that you're going to speak those words and sing them. So I'll speak it first, then I'll sing it once, and then we'll go on to one of those famous accompagnatos that we've talked about, since this is a secco or dry recit where we just have chords underneath. So first I'll speak it. Self-pity. Come tutto congiura a sedurre il mio cor. Shift to stubborn perseverance. Ma no, si mora e non si ceda. And then what the heck was I thinking? Errai quando alla suora mi scopersi ed alla Despina. You'll notice I added Despina because she, in the original opera, is a maid. So the fact that she even told a secret to her maidservant is really kind of a wound to her ego. So let's try singing it once. Let me get my note. And I'll bring that same emotion into this. Come tutto congiura a sedurre il mio cor, ma no, si mura e non si ceda. Errai quando alla suora il mio scopersi ed alla Despina. So I shift my energy, I shift my breath, I shift my intention. Let's take a break and look at one of these accompagnatos to see how that works when you have the orchestra along with you. So let's start off by learning the actual notes as they're written. So I'm going to use my little keyboard on my iPad. By the way, I use Fourscore. This is what you're seeing on your screen right now. So I'm going to plunk these out as well as I can. So those are my notes. After you've plunked out the notes on a keyboard, or you have someone else play them for you, or you listen to them on a recording, you can of course do an intermediary step of just singing them on a vowel before you add the words. So an NG, a V hum, a hum, or a vowel like ah. So do what works best for you, just picking out the notes and then add the text on top of it. But that's why I like doing the text first. The text comes pretty naturally and the rhythm comes pretty naturally. So it's just a question of figuring out where do you change pitches. So here I know it's come tutto congiuro. I go up on congiura, which is the word stress also. So another indication that Mozart was setting the words pretty well. Okay, here's a nice juicy recitativo accompagnato before come scolio. And I am infamous in my Italian diction classes for singing the accompaniments and the interludes in between the text because they are so important in shifting the mood. You get to decide, or you get to research whether you as the singer are the one that shifts the mood, or does something inside you, thus the orchestra, shift the mood. So let's talk about context really quickly. The guys have busted in all dressed up, and Don Alfonso and Despina are helping them, and they're in the girls' rooms potentially, or at least in their house, and Fiordiligi is kind of the head of the household, and she's just like, what are you doing here? This is totally not okay. And her sister's even looking to her. So right before this outburst of temerari, her sister Dorabella looks at her and says, what do we do? There's men in our house. And so Fiordiligi has to kind of step up. And she even kind of goes outside of herself and explodes a little bit here. So we see these really insistent chords. Ba-bam, ba-bam. She explodes. Temerari, da-dam, sortite fuori di questo loco. Get out of here. Are you serious? Ba-bam, ba-bam. How dare you come and defame our honor and our hearts and our ears and even our emotions. And we still have these insistent chords, ba-bam, 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 ba-bam. Something shifts a little bit, but she's still being threatening. In vain, for you and for anyone else, if you're looking to try and seduce us. Things shift a little bit, but they're still powerful. Bum, 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 bum. Soft. Now she's being a little bit more calm in a threatening way, but also showing how very loyal she is to her boyfriend partner. L'intata fede, our intact loyalty, che per noi già si diede, that we're giving to them. We have a shift in the accompaniment. Ba-bam, 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 bam-bam. She's softening as she thinks about her boyfriend, ai cari amanti, to our beloved lovers. And then it builds up again because she maybe notices that the guys are seeing her softness and getting interested. And so she gets very strong again and she says, we know how to serve them. Ba-bam, ba-bam. Those chords are back with the insistence and the rhythmic insistence. Until we die. There's her personality coming forward again. Like, I will always do the right thing. That is who I am. And if I'm not that, I don't know who I am. Gets even stronger. And she says, in spite of the world, ba-bum, ba-bum, and of destiny. So those interludes give you such a clue. And those dynamic markings that Mozart gives you such a clue. And even the rhythms that he writes for Fiordiligi, going from these saprem loro serbar versus ai cari amanti, no dotted notes. So take all of that into consideration as you work on your recitativi accompagnati, and come and check out the final product of this and the other recitative this Friday and Sunday in Opera NexGen's all live virtual production. That means every single cast member is in their own house, using the internet, using our phones for the video and our computers and a low latency program for the sound. It's an incredible production. It's very modernized, and you'll hear a lot of fantastic recitative. If you have any questions or you'd like to work on your own recits with me, you can always find those links in my bio, as well as the links to buy tickets for this weekend's Così fan tutte with Opera NexGen. Thank you so much for joining me for this 4-week series on Mozart recitative. I will see you next week for a new Technique Tuesday.